Sign up. Okay, 2 people did sign up. It looks like Francis G. Would you like to say something? Yep. Please. It does make a difference when it comes to the recording. That's why we do it.
Oh, you record me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You'll be on TV.
Say it again?
You'll be on a podcast.
I'll be on the internet next week. I just wanted to, I know you guys don't take it this serious, but I take this very serious about this cat thing. Now, I look up all these laws about cats, and Niagara Falls just did provision for cats in the beginning of this year. I'm not going to read it all to you, but they do now have stipulations that they cannot, under new rules, cats would no longer be permitted to interfere with garbage receptacles or to defecate, urine, or dig on any property not belonging to the cat owner. So I understand it's an issue. You look up on Wheatfield's website about pet control or whatever, or cat licensing, and all you get is dog control, no other pet, just dogs, dogs, dogs. And back when Tim Demler was in office, they had they went and got really strong. It said Wheatfield put pounds, dogs, owners on tighter leash. And back then, Demler was looking for somebody to go door to door to count dogs in the community. And I feel that if we can do that with the dogs, we can do it with the cats. There's no reason why a cat has to have any different rules than my dog. If I let my dogs run out wild, they get picked up and they go to the pound. I've called DEC, I've called SPCA, and I've called dog pound or animal control. Nobody will do anything. I don't want to hurt the animal. So my last resort is to kill the cat, and I'm not going to do that. But I don't want my animals to die either. So let's not beat that. But we need to do something. We need to somehow come up with some kind of rule or law provision like Niagara Falls did. That's my cat thing. I have something else. There is now an auction sign on the Hall Road.
Right.
Can you elaborate on that? Did you not buy the property?
We actually have a signed contract for the property. We do not have the original back yet. We only have an email version. But if the tax sale went through or goes through, that contract would be voided because the county actually owns the property at that point. So we are prepared to go to that auction in lieu of. But Matt said on Friday that was, what was the term used?
Well, the property owner became aware, I think it was last week, I was advised that it is in a tax sale and they are going through the process to redeem the property so they can follow through with the contract to the town.
Who's redeeming it?
The property owner.
Dominic Piastre?
No, I don't
It's
believe
it's
it.
actually
A guy in
Canadian
Canada.
fellow. Yep.
The guy in Canada. So he's taking over back the property?
So that we can go through with the sale.
He's trying to redeem it from the county. He didn't pay taxes for a couple of years.
Oh, okay, because Dominic, I was dealing with Dominic, and Dominic, said any reason.
Dominic is a friend, apparently.
Yeah. So what are the chances of it going through? I mean, what's going to happen?
Well, if he does redeem it, then we have a contract in place and that will go through, I assume.
And if he doesn't?
If he doesn't,
we'll be at the auction.
So what happens if a private person gets that road? We're screwed.
Then we have some interesting negotiations. We still have we have the easement on the ditch itself.
But that doesn't help us.
That we do have. That's the only thing we would have at that point.
Yeah, unless we have a moped.
Even that might be too big.
we have no control over the prior property owner. We can't tell him what to do with it or whether or not to redeem it. It's my understanding he's going to, but...
No, but I also have no control over leaving my house either when it floods.
Your 3 minutes is up in quite a while.
Okay, well, yeah, you don't want to hear that part.
Okay. Debbie Bentley?
So I would like an update on the drainage issue. I know the equipment's been removed, and I was wondering what was happening.
Piastric.
I noticed the water was really low in the ditch now versus, the lake is still, fairly high for summertime. I was just wondering, did you, the- Mhm. Oh, what time did you close the gate? 'Cause I stopped about, right before I came here. Oh, it looked open, or it looked closed to me. And no water was flowing out of it into the ditch. Mhm. Okay. 'Cause like I said, I was a little surprised at how low the water was. Can you stick the camera in the Ward Road, or is that not your type? Yeah. So we're just at the mercy of the state in that sense? And then my other comment was, I see there's two new properties being approved tonight for construction of new homes, and I was wondering if these performance bonds cover drainage, because, if 2 years down the road, the drainage plan fails, is there gonna be money from the developers to cover any potential problems, instead of the town covering it?
There are engineering standards by which that they're required to meet, and engineering plans get reviewed and before everything's accepted. If it's engineered properly, they're supposed to meet those standards. However, if they don't, that's usually, and Tim, it's not part of the performance bond. I mean, there is drainage, that the drainage system is constructed properly. If on the other hand it is incorrect, it doesn't work, there's always perhaps a lawsuit or action against the engineer or developer on behalf of the town, but they have to meet certain standards, and those standards have to be approved by the engineer, so we are reviewing that. Some of these other, past other developments that don't meet it, the standards have been toughened up over the years as far as drainage. Some of these older developments were before those types of regulations.
But I see that we have like a road bond. I'm assuming that's in case the road is incorrectly put in?
I don't know, is there a road bond one or a performance bond, I believe?
Around it?
The roads that are already in place now belong to the town, so the developer
I'm
might
just,
have to repair them at the end of the
wondering
road.
if there can be an escrow account to make sure that these, any type of future problems are covered by the developer versus the town, that's all.
Well, the performance bonds that we're talking about, the performance bonds are only during construction as well. When the phase of the PIP gets to the end of construction, that turns over into a maintenance bond, and the town requires a 2-year maintenance bond. So there's 2 years from when the town accepts a project that they have. If something goes wrong that's not for the standards, or something's found to be installed wrong, they basically have a 2-year bond that they could go
And that
back
would
on.
cover drainage?
If drainage is one of the PIPs, yes.
Maybe we should make it longer? I don't know. I'm just concerned about the town finances just as much as everybody else is, so.
Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Jack Sindrick. Okay, very good. You'll have your opportunity at the end of the meeting. Okay, for the record, Kathy, all members are present. Gentlemen, we do have a set of minutes. They're from the July 17th meeting. Does anybody wish to move these in for approval?
So moved.
Moved by Gil. Need a second? Second by Art. Anything anybody wishes to change? If not, then all in favor? Aye. Say aye, yeah. Aye. Sorry. Vouchers. Bill pay this week is $730,000, $730,024.55 for vouchers 2017-1264 through 1433. I need a motion to be able to pay these bills. That's actually a separate motion. That's in the motion. I need a second.
I'll second.
Second by Randy. Any bills that anybody wishes to hold? If not, then all in favor of paying these bills signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That is approved. Paul is here for highway. Anything else going on, Paul?
I was commenting earlier, we've had a lot of the road work early this year, we have big plans for drainage. Unfortunately, we can't even get into it. The water's over the Wheatfield, I can't even destroy the start of the crop. Hopefully we're proud enough, we'll get some more drainage work done. Check us out every day. The people asking me for the brush has been there for 3 weeks. The end of the road that falls in, but my brush has been there for 3 weeks. Well, my guys on the timber, it's been, only the same pile of brush. That put me out every week and been there for 3 weeks. My guys watch me, because he yelled at me back in my shop, and I tell him, why is this pile? No, we're not, we get them every week. So they start taking pictures and show me. If you're gonna get away with something, they get sick of getting yelled at, they have to take matters in their own hands, show the evidence. We are planning on doing a little more paving, but there's some issues with the county paver. The last one, they had a fire on one and they had an accident on the other, so
Like it too.
we may end up renting one, just for one last road. I'm afraid the road is getting straight. They didn't get an exact date, it should be coming up here in August, when they come out. He's been speaking with all the other counties, he's still in their list, I've been there with him for a while.
Anything for Paul? Thank you. Rich? I hear somebody decided to create a leak over on Lockport Road again?
Well, we sent a train call last Tuesday to the sheriff's department, and said, hey, somebody hit a hydrant, but we don't think there's a water line hooked up to it because there's no water leak.
Well, that's a plus.
Well, that's a good thing, it's supposed to expose it, so I went out there and sure enough, the young lady had swerved to avoid a raccoon, and, took out a hydrant, a culvert pipe, and totaled the car in the process, but luckily she was okay. Also, I want to thank Paul and his crew, they found a water leak for us over on Schultz Road at the corner of Ashford. Kind of a minor leak that really wouldn't have been discovered once they were doing the job where they were. But, that in turn caused us to take up part of Schultz Road and make the repairs, and, we got that done last Thursday. But, guys are still out doing grinder tanks, trying to keep up with the lawn mowing and trying to finish up hydrants this summer too, so.
Good. Anything for Rich? Thank you. Mike's not here. Mike is not here. No, for Blake. Bridget, anything? Does anybody have anything for Bridget? Then we're at Arlene. When's that? Not gonna be here. Oh, well. There you go. There you go. Anything for Arlene? Thank you. Tim Zuber from Wendell.
Thank you. We have a few things on our agenda for you this evening. The first item being a recommendation award for the Niagara Sanitation Landfill Fence Project. If you remember at our last meeting, bids were open for that project, and New York State Fence, Inc. had the low bid amount of $106,800. Since that meeting, we have conducted an interview with Tom Thomas. He's one of the owners of New York State Fence Company, and we confirmed their understanding of the requirements of the project. We actually went through all the major items of the project and through our pre-construction meeting notes and everything with them again, and they are still prepared to honor their price. So based on that, we have a motion in the packet this evening to recommend award to New York State Fence for their low bid amount of $106,800. Any questions?
You can wait for motion.
Okay. To follow that motion, our next agenda item is a proposal for services during construction for that project. We have a proposal letter for you that includes both construction administration and construction observation. A lot of the construction administration tasks are pretty similar for any project that you have, and that includes issuing notices of awards, notices to proceed, pre-construction meetings, reviewing shop drawings, answering questions during construction, reviewing pay requests, preparing the final punch lists at the end of the project, and attending to all the closeout documents and maintenance bonds. And then there's a construction observation number that we have approximately 4 hours a week for about a month of construction, which is what they're anticipating it being. So we have that proposal as well for your review. And any questions you can ask them, I guess, when that comes up. Our third item for you this evening starts our PIPs off for the summer. We actually have, for Ashwood subdivision, we're calling this Phase 4. Back in 2011, they did Phase 3 of PIP work in the subdivision, where they did water, sanitary, and storm sewer work, which they did for the full remainder of the subdivision. But when it came to paving the road, they only wanted to pave a portion of it, approximately half of it. So we agreed to let them do that, and have now come back with the fourth PIP to just finish the road and curb and gutter for that section of road. So we've gone through their applications. The one remaining thing that we do have to work out with the town attorney is a review of their performance bonds. We just received those this evening, so they just need to make sure that they're reviewed and approved by the town attorney, and everything else should be in place for that. You've seen in our items we've included a road bond, which we typically do for the town roads during construction. We've included some conditions on the request of the highway superintendent to make sure that they're only traveling on one route or the other through Ashwood, so we're only having to maintain one piece of those roads during construction, making sure it's swept, and then also making sure that their routes to access the site are clear. We want them to come up Niagara Falls Boulevard on Schultz instead of coming down Moyer and Schultz, which have recently been paved. So have those PIP applications for your consideration tonight as well. And the last item on our agenda is the PIP applications again for Eagle Chase. They were part of our package from last week. We have included them again for the board's consideration this week.
Picking something up from someone.
Turned it off, so. So that's our agenda for this evening. So if there's any questions, I can certainly available when the motions come up.
Anybody, anything?
Okay, thank you.
All right, the motion packet, starting off with what Wendell had indicated. First one, the motion to award the Niagara Sanitation Landfill Fence Project to New York State Fence, Inc. for their low bid of $106,800.
So moved. Moved by Gil, second by Art. Anything on the question? been a long haul, but it'll be nice to get this done. I did bring that up and, was told that there will be no further funds forthcoming. Anything further on the question? All in favor of approving this bid, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's approved.
Next motion again from Wendell, to authorize Wendell to provide services during construction for the Niagara Sanitation Landfill Fence Project in accordance with their proposal letter dated August 3rd, 2017 for an estimated fee of $8,900.
I'll second.
Larry, second by Randy. Anything on this question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's approved.
Next motion, again, Tim mentioned from Wendell, to approve the PIP application for construction of pavement and curb for Phase 4 of the Ashwood subdivision. Storm sewers, sanitary sewers, and water line were completed during a construction of the previous phase. The final phase will yield a total of 13 single-family residential lots, lots 76 through 78 and 25 through 34. This approval is made with the following conditions. Number 1, public improvements must be constructed to current town details and standards. Prior to construction, the developer must submit a drainage plan acceptable to the town engineer and town drainage committee. The developer must maintain drainage and are on the subdivision properties throughout construction. Number 3, performance bond must be reviewed and approved by the town attorney. Number 4, prior to construction commencement, a road bond for $50,000 must be provided to cover potential damage to adjacent town roads during construction. The road bond must specifically reference Ashwood Drive, Lakewood Drive, and Schultz Road. Only one route through the subdivision, Ashwood Drive or Lakewood Drive, may be used to access the construction site from Schultz Road. Number 5, construction vehicle access to and from the site is to be via Niagara Falls Boulevard and the southern portion of Schultz Road, and Moyer Road were recently paved, so construction access from Shawnee via Moyer Road and Schultz Road will not be allowed. Number 6, all requirements of the New York State SPDES general permit for stormwater discharges from construction activities, GP-05-15-002, must be complied with for this project.
So moved.
By Randy, need a second?
Second.
Second by Art. Anything on this question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's approved.
Next motion, again mentioned by Tim from Wendell, to approve the PIP applications for construction of pavement and curb, water line, sanitary sewer, and storm sewer for Phase 2 of the Eagle Chase subdivision. This phase of the subdivision will yield a total of 12 single-family residential lots, lots 29 through 40, on Colleen Terrace. This approval is made with the following conditions. Number 1, the public improvements must be constructed to current town details and standards. Number 2, prior to construction, the developer must submit a drainage plan acceptable to the town engineer and town drainage committee. The developer must maintain drainage on and around the subdivision properties throughout construction. Number 3, all requirements of the New York State SPDES general permit for stormwater discharges for construction activities, GP-0-15-002, must be complied with for this project. Number 4, all town fees, PIP fees, connection fees, and phase fees must be paid prior to construction commencement. And that is what's listed in the motion. I believe the board requested 2 additional items. So number 5 would be the developer shall provide a 20-foot wide easement centered on the mutual property lines of lots 11 and 12, 21 and 22, 29 and 30, 39 and 40 for potential use by the town for drainage. And number 6, contracts for lot sales will include a disclosure that the entrance floods for several hours after a large storm event. Access to the subdivision will be impeded during these brief and infrequent flooding events.
So move. I'll second.
Art, second by Randy.
I'd like to make sure the 5 and 6 items are included on the hard copy.
Paul?
What,
Go back to Art, do you want a line 7?
Why don't we add the line 7 on there? That'll be another one of the additional items that should be noted here. Item 7 would read very similar to the $50,000 road bond for the previous motion.
Hey, Randy, you seconded?
That's fine. Second.
And we have a modified motion now with item number 7 added for a $50,000 bond. Anything else on the question? If nothing else on the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's approved.
okay, next motion is, it's lengthy. Basically, the bottom line in the resolved part indicates, and I guess I could just read that 3 paragraphs. Therefore, be it resolved that it's the intent of the town board of the town of Wheatfield to provide for the public health, safety, and welfare by protecting the public and environment from tobacco-related litter by discharging inherently dangerous behavior, smoking around non-tobacco users, especially children, by reducing involuntary exposure to secondhand smoke and aerosol where people play, exercise, and relax, by reducing the potential for children to wrongly associate tobacco with the use with a healthy lifestyle, and by affirming and promoting a healthy environment in and around the town's recreation areas. The town believes the use of all tobacco products, including but not limited to combustible products, non-combustible products, and aerosol devices such as e-cigarettes, should be prohibited in all indoor and outdoor areas of town parks and recreation properties. With tobacco use should be prohibited within 25 feet of any entrance, exit, windows, or vents of all park and recreation buildings. The enforcement of this policy will be through voluntary compliance. And if anyone's board's interested, they did send, the signs would be free. They've sent sample signs that they will provide for non-smoking if the board decides to go with the motion.
Okay, are you moving to table? Do we have a second to move to table?
Second.
All in favor of moving to table?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so this is tabled. Now you gotta table.
The next motion from town board and town attorney, which may not be necessary if the property containing the Hall Road is redeemed, but just in case, this motion is to authorize the town supervisor, Robert B. Cliff, and our town board members and our town attorney to attend the Niagara County Tax Foreclosure Auction on August 12, 2017, and to bid in an attempt to purchase vacant land in the town of Wheatfield, SBL number 175.08-1-1 of approximately 7.9 acres between Ward Road and Wilrose Court. If to be sold at that time, said property was previously under contract for the town to purchase from its previous owner, and due to the previous sale, the town authorizes its aforementioned representatives to bid on said parcel at the tax foreclosure auction in an amount approximating the previous contract price or any other amounts in the town's representative's discretion. Said land is being purchased by the town for the same purposes as indicated in the town's June 5, 2017 resolution for private purchase of the property in order to adequately maintain the town's drainage easements across said parcel and to allow the town to continue the Hall Road for secondary access to Wilrose Court as necessary. The aforementioned town representatives are authorized to bid at said auction and are authorized to tender a bank certified deposit check in the amount of at least 10% of the auction price in order to purchase the property and preserve the town needs for the parcel.
Second. Moved by Larry, second by Gil.
Is there an upper limit on that we're gonna
We have,
go to?
we have not set one formally. The part about setting in, open session a limit is if someone else is planning to bid, they have inside information.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on the question? If nothing else, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That is approved.
Next motion from GHD Engineers to authorize, if the board wishes to table, I know there was discussion.
Motion to table,
Second.
second by Art. All in favor of tabling this motion?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion is also tabled.
Next motion is from the Wheatfield Local Development Corporation, Town Supervisor and Town Attorney, authorizing the Town Supervisor, Robert B. Cliff, to enter into and authorize and execute on behalf of the Town of Wheatfield the grant agreement between the Town of Wheatfield and the Wheatfield Local Development Corporation with regard to the Economic Development Grant for Big Thunder Brewing to promote economic development within the Town of Wheatfield, subject to approval of the final agreement by the Town Attorney.
So moved. Moved by Gil. Need a second?
I'll second.
Second by Randy. We've actually already approved the subrecipient agreement. Because of the size and nature of this particular project, it was recommended by our consultant, actually the LDC's consultant, to adjust the wording. Through the attorney for the LDC and also through Matt. Minor, but there are some wording changes in there. Anything else on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's approved.
Next motion from the Town Attorney is to authorize and approve the Town Attorney and Town Clerk to issue, publish, post, and mail a notice of real property sale for town-owned property located in the Town of Wheatfield on Ontario Drive, SPL number 177.01-3-112, for a public sale to be by sealed bid to the highest bidder of said surplus property. The form of said notice of real property sale is attached here too. Sealed bids will be due at the office of the Town Clerk by Monday, September 18th, 2017 at 12 noon and will thereafter be opened at the regular scheduled Town Board meeting on September 18th, 2017 at 7:30 p.m. By this resolution, the Town reserves the right to refuse all bids and or rebid said sale. Be it also noted the property has previously been declared surplus by the Town Board of Wheatfield by resolution, and notice of the town's intent to sell has been properly published and posted, and any time for a permissive referendum to be brought by any party has expired. The notice of the real property sale is authorized as follows, and the rest is in your packet and will be as presented.
Anybody wish to make this motion? Moved by Art, second by Larry. Do we sell town-owned property? Do we have to have any kind of a referendum?
It is a permissive referendum that the public could have brought via petition. It was published, giving them notice to do so. The time expired to do so has passed, so we do not have to conduct it.
The referendum would have to have come from the folks.
Yeah, it would have had to be via petition. It would have had to be requested, and no one requested it after proper notice.
Anything else on the question? If not, then all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. You know? I'm a no. It's 4-1 and it's approved.
Okay, next motion from the Highway Superintendent to authorize Paul Siegman, Highway Department Superintendent, to attend the 2017 New York State Association of Towns Superintendent of Highways 88th Annual Conference Education Symposium and Expo on September 19th through September 22nd, 2017 at the Holiday Valley Resort in Ellicottville, New York. Expense of this attendance for registration and meals is at a cost of $378 plus mileage. There will be no cost for hotel accommodations, as the highway superintendent will arrange his own personal accommodations and will not need to book a hotel. Said amounts will be dispersed from the highway department's 2017 budget.
Go ahead, make that motion. Second by Larry. Anything on the question? Paul, you do know it could be snowing down there by that time. If nothing on the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's approved.
Next motion from the budget director, be it resolved, the town board does hereby approve the following 2017 budget transfers for the general fund as follows, and that's as presented in the motion packet.
I'll go ahead and make the motion.
Second.
Second by Art. Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's approved.
And then there was one late motion from the Director of Personnel, motion to approve the hiring of Nicholas Lafredo as a truck driver to the Highway Department.
Somebody wish to make this motion?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Randy, second by Larry. Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm opposed. That's approved.
That is all I have for motions.
Okay, board member items. Councilman Helwig.
I don't know if we need more approval, but the town has an internet agreement with Spectrum, and we're gonna be changing that to other carrier, but still through Spectrum. They're essentially gonna double our fees for about half the money that we were paying. That's a 4-page agreement here. Spectrum doesn't do contracts anymore, but they still want the supervisor's signature, so I don't know whether, I'll make a motion that we authorize the supervisor to sign this new internet agreement with Spectrum.
Okay, need a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's approved.
And then some notes from earlier discussion, Matt, if you could give, I guess Mike Rinaldi and Mike Clark copies of that tobacco free, they probably don't have it yet, but
Okay.
we'll get their comments on that. And then I have a question for Ed on park reimbursement. Have we started receiving money back from Albany on anything like that? No, we have not. Do you know any of the holdups or what? We're still in the process by the okay.
Now, we should be getting back somewhere around $220,000, right?
Correct. So we know that, current anticipation is only
Yeah, that was only a first payment, though. There is more beyond that. Okay. Anything else, Larry? Councilman Doucette.
I have some correspondence from Adams Fire Hall. Adams Fire Hall would like to remove Mike Wainwright from their active roster. And I'll make that motion.
All second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That is approved.
Also have correspondence from St. Johnsburg Fire Company. St. Johnsburg would like to add Jake Connery, Brian Kiley, Kimberly Kerr, and Cassie Lands to their active roster. Also, they would like to remove Nicholas DiCarlo, John Gulagowski, Jared Henderson, Sherwood Herman, James Kish Sr., James Kish Jr., Ronald Orbeck, Robert Schroeder, Robert Schuster, Nathan Solomon, Donald Worth, Gordon Martin. And they'd like to remove Robert Gajowski.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That is approved.
I'd like to thank the Ladies Garden Club. They've really got it looking good around the town hall here. Community center, I don't know if anybody's taken a look at all the flowers and stuff. I come Saturday to get my mail, and several of them were down on their hands and knees weeding them. So I'd like to thank them for all the nice work that they do.
They do a great job.
And that's it.
They also work at the park as well,
Yep.
at Fairmount Park. Thank you, Gil. Councilman Gervais.
Just a couple of quick items. There's a comprehensive planning board meeting on the 24th. Meeting starts at 6:30. I'm gonna bring up discussions about the cat law to see what we have right now. I remember we talked about them, I think, and all we did was maybe limit the number of cats, and then the discussion came up, you don't keep a lot of the cats inside, because most of them are declawed. So you're talking about cats that are allowed to go out, or feral cats, so we'll see if we can maybe nail something down. If you want to, you're more than willing to attend that night. The meeting starts at 6:30. It is held over in the senior center. And so if you want to come and come and speak your piece, and certainly they'll listen to you, and you'll be able to explain, you know, what's happening with you. And then the vets group will be meeting at on the 10th at 7 o'clock in the community center. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Art. Councilman Retzler.
One quick story from our town. If anybody knew the Winker family grew up on Norman Road, his birthplace, if you look on the website, is Wheatfield, but he was here till about 10 years old. Jesse Winker is playing for the Cincinnati Reds. He's on a second call-up, and he's playing right field. And that's all. If anybody knew the family or the boy, he's a great kid, great people. He was here, and they moved to Orlando to pursue. There are 3 boys playing in the big leagues, and 2 of the 3 did make it. So Jesse Winker, if you ever get bored, look at the box score. He's playing right field, and they're playing tonight.
For who?
Cincinnati Reds. They're in last place, but he is playing in the big leagues.
Maybe you can help change that. It's nice to hear. I do have a couple of things. Our audit is just about done. Ed and I sat down with our auditors a couple of days ago. We had basically no changes from that which Ed had done his homework on. As per our usual, he's going to come in and do a budget presentation at our next meeting, probably at 7:15. If nobody objects, I'd like to do it at 7:15 so we don't make our meeting too late. We don't have any others? For post-fair. Oh, yes, that should be very quick. Yeah, there won't be anybody speaking on that, I don't think. Why don't we make it 7:20? And this usually only lasts about 10 minutes, but it does give us a lot of information, and shortly thereafter he gives us our audit report from last year. We have still not taken any action on the sidewalks other than to not go ahead. Are we at a point, gentlemen, where we are ready to send a letter to DOT stating that we're not going to proceed with that grant? DOT would like an answer, because if they don't give us the money, they can give it somewhere else. Okay. Well, we were attempting to work out, turn the grant into wider roads. If that's not going to happen either, then we just need to send a letter saying thank you, but no thank you. That's my thinking. Matt, do you have an opinion?
Well, we did indicate, we were not going to go forward with the sidewalk project,
But we also indicated to Bernie talked to them, that we were going to try to modify the grant. That didn't happen.
It didn't happen, but, I mean, it is a little bit of a gray area if the board wishes to officially, define it, with no further pursuit of any other options, and
If we're not ready, then I would ask, at least by the next meeting, that we be ready to make a decision. And that being said, we're back to public input. Jack, you had signed up wanting to be last. Do you want to go now? We can hear you in the room, Jack. The problem is there is a speaker, and if you don't speak through here, we can't hear it. Your 3 minutes is just about up, Jack. Yes, we do. I think Kathy bought that out of her kindness. Are you all set? We did do a letter to the county and copied Dave, we copied Becky Whittish, and we copied Catherine Lance. I don't know if they've actually received that yet. We also sent that to the county manager. So the legislature is aware that we want that. Well, we put a letter out that we would like to know what their plan is. That it is necessary that that bridge is repaired, and we'd like to know what that is. Obviously, we haven't received any response. It only went out a couple of days ago, I think. Thank you, Jack. Yes, Paul?
I forgot something when it was my turn to talk, so I just want to say right now real fast. I had some people call me about the sidewalks on Ward Road, especially the Eagles Club. They called the DOT, and the DOT says them sidewalks aren't their responsibility.
Right.
Does the board remember, did we ever take in acceptance of them sidewalks, or responsibility of them?
I don't think any of us would remember that long ago.
I mean, I don't think we would, because they're not handicapped, they're not up to, current standards.
I think it's probably something very similar to what's going on Williams Road and now on the Boulevard, where they put them in and they basically just say it's now your problem. So I suspect that is the town's, and since the town, we could have a law forcing the homeowner to take care of it, we do not have that law.
Well, the only reason why I had this question is Eagles Club called me because they want to redo their parking lot. Well, their sidewalks are shot in front of their thing, and they want to know who's going to pay for them. Now, if you want the town to pay for them, that's fine to replace the ones that are there. But if we start there, I can go along. There's a lot of the sidewalks along Ward Road that need to be replaced. I don't know when the state, they don't want to take care of their drainage on Ward Road. They don't want to take care of sidewalks on Ward Road. They pretty much don't want to take care of anything.
That's right.
And I don't understand how they keep pushing stuff onto us.
That is part of
The state handbook on sidewalks. I know some of the women that were here for the Kruger Road sidewalks in sort of misquoting what that indicated, but they provided us that documentation which says the state, when they put it on state roads, they put the sidewalk, they're going to give it to the local municipality, and the state washes their hands of it. So that's what they did on the Boulevard and probably on Ward Road, and they build it and then they leave it. They're done.
But Ward Road, them sidewalks have been there probably 40, 50 years. That's why I'm saying that would still fall underneath that, even though they're not handicap accessible, they're not up to current state standards.
Would they? I don't know how long that policy was in effect, but
I know the book was like 2003. They're going to come out with a new one.
I don't know
this
if there
year.
was a previous version, but yeah, they came up with it. But I would think the state probably has that position, but it's their position. It's not legislation. I don't know where it necessarily obligates us to do so. So I don't think we have an obligation to replace. If they're going to re-blacktop, they may just blacktop the whole area. I don't think we necessarily have an obligation to replace.
Okay.
Because their policy is to dump it on us. I didn't see where it said the town or any other municipality accepted that responsibility.
Okay.
Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't 2 years ago you had some contractor go in and remove broken sidewalks on Niagara Road, put them back in, and then the residents were charged for half of the work to be done?
I think that was before me, because I don't remember doing
Okay,
that.
it was speak to Art Croning, but it was split 50-50. Half was paid by the homeowner, half was paid by the town.
And that's actually the way it's written up in the book, too, is where you can charge the homeowner for 50%.
And that's exactly what they did. They charged them half of it.
So is this the way we wanna proceed from now on if anybody asks to have their sidewalk replaced on Ward Road?
And I don't know the answer to that, but my point is, you better be careful with your decision, make sure it's consistent.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if that was a decision that you guys made 3 years ago, I wanna stay, within that.
It's gotta be longer than that.
Okay.
It's gotta be years ago.
I don't, probably we're gonna have to sit and talk about this a bit, but
Okay.
I just wanted you to know that fact. I didn't know if you knew it or not.
I guess what I'm gonna proceed with the Eagles Club is to tell them to go ahead and redo their driveway, and if it comes down to that decision, we'll have to make it right. Okay, thanks.
Okay, Kathy?
Just so people are aware, hunting licenses are now available. They went on sale August 1st, which is about 2 weeks earlier than normal. So for all the hunters, they can come and get their license.
Does that include cats? I don't think
No, unfortunately
I don't
not.
think you can shoot cats.
There are programs, though, on cats, the feral cats.
Okay. Okay, if there's nothing further, our next meeting is August 21st. Apparently there is a public hearing at 7:15 on a fair housing policy. And now 7:20, give or take, we'll have the presentation on the budget and our regular board meeting to follow. With that said, yeah, we didn't ask you, Dave. You didn't put your hand up in the air. Do you have anything? Did you get your copy of the letter yet? Did you get the copy of the letter about the bridge yet? I think it only went out a couple of days ago. Okay,